Are you guys one of those couples who only make up with wild sex? Like, I got no problem, trust you me, with good makeup sex. After 31 plus years of marriage, we enjoy some good makeup sex. But could it be that wild, crazy, outrageous makeup sex is actually hurting your marriage? Let's talk about that in the next few minutes. Hey, we're talking about wild, crazy, wonderful makeup sex. I'm Rod Harrison. I am a marriage coach and author, speaker. I love working with couples to help them have the kind of marriage that they've always dreamed of. And if you are here on this YouTube channel, it's because you're one of those couples who probably want to just improve your marriage. I help people go from deep frustration in their marriage to deep satisfaction and connection in their marriage. And I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. I want to offer to you a free workshop. If you have not heard about this workshop, it's called the Happy Marriage Workshop. It is my 6 stage process in a nutshell as to how you can revive and strengthen and deepen the connection in your marriage. It's really my recipe. I use this recipe with people from all over the place. I've been working with NFL couples for years. That's really kind of my sweet spot. But I've also been working with leaders in ministry, leaders in business, teaching people these 6 principles, these really 6 kind of meaty ideas that if you get good at this, you can get good at anything in your marriage. You'll learn how to resolve conflict. You'll learn how to communicate and connect at the same time. You'll learn how to have a better sex life. Even though that's not like the big principle, if you get these principles, you will. Yeah, you'll learn how to communicate, how to work through conflict. You'll learn how to really care about each other and help each other heal. Did you bring trauma with you into your marriage? Have you experienced trauma since your marriage? Maybe from your spouse, maybe from outside, some other situation. You and I have a huge, huge opportunity to help each other heal. And so, in this Happy Marriage Workshop, which is a robust, listen, free resource just for you, you get to begin to learn how to resolve those conflicts and how to connect with communication, how to help each other heal in the process. So I want you to download that resource. The link is right there in the notes. Go get the resource, and I hope that it will be an absolute huge help to you. Hey, I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being with me today. Thank you for talking with me about this really important topic. Like why wild, crazy, off the charts makeup sex could actually be hurting your marriage. What is wild makeup sex all about? And there's nothing wrong with it, as I said in the introduction, but it actually could be hindering you from something much deeper. I wonder if you guys, I say you and your spouse, or at least you perhaps, feel like, yeah, we have this crazy sex, but we just don't ever fix anything. Come on, talk back to me. We have this mad, passionate, like, oh, I'm so glad we're still together and that, yeah, I do love you and I don't want anybody else. That kind of mad, crazy makeup sex. And then, like, 2 weeks later, you're back at the same point of frustration that you were before the makeup sex. What's that all about? Why can't we seem to get beyond this? Why do we keep going in circles and cycles of conflict? By the way, we talk about cycles of conflict in marriage relationships in my Dream Marriage Masterclass and in our mentoring program. By the way, I'm trained as a counselor. I just prefer mentoring. It's what I've always done. For over 30 years, I've mentored couples, dating couples, married couples, couples who've been married for a few days, couples who are thinking about getting married, couples who've been married for many years, couples on the brink of divorce and deeply frustrated. And I love seeing people have breakthroughs in their marriages. So maybe you'll consider me as you watch my YouTube channel. You'll consider me a bit of a mentor to you when it comes to your marriage. I'd be honored. It'd be my absolute honor. And maybe someday you'll become a part of our mentoring program. Let's talk about why this makeup sex is not working. I want to give you three really important principles. So if you're one of those people who writes, this is a good place to write. Conflict in your marriage often represents what I call a dual cry. It represents a dual cry for both love and for safety or for self-protection. When you're going through it with your spouse, like have you ever been like in the heat of it and you start to feel like maybe he doesn't love me or maybe she doesn't love me. I don't feel respected. I don't feel like they really love me. And when you're in conflict, it's really an emotional cry, right? Like respect me or love me and make me feel safe here. So oftentimes while we're in the midst of our conflicts, like we're just trying to feel the space out. Like, where do I stand with you now? Because I thought we were deeply in love. I thought we would always be for each other. I thought we would always care about one another. What is going on here? Have you ever felt that anxiety in the midst of an argument, in the midst of deep conflict? I'm not talking about the kind of conflict, right? What color shoes should we wear? I'm talking about the kind that makes you start to feel disconnected from your spouse. It makes you almost start to question, like, where do we stand with each other? How did we get here? That kind of conflict. In the midst of conflict, you're crying out for safety. You're crying out for self-protection. By the way, that's why a lot of men fade back in conflicts because they're trying to protect themselves, right, from the thing that they may have done wrong, or from feeling like they can't make it right, or feeling like nothing they say is ever going to make sense. They can't get a word in edgewise, and so they shut down, they back away, and that backing away is really all about self-protection. Oftentimes women, but not women, solely, women are coming for the coming for their husband. Like, we need to work this out. Yeah, we're gonna talk about this now, because they feel safe if we can get resolution. They feel unsafe if there is no resolution. So when you're having wild makeup sex and you haven't resolved the problem, you still leave the person feeling a little unsafe, a little uncertain. And so we all kind of drop our guards in the act of sexual intimacy sometimes, not everybody. Some people are making love, making up, having makeup sex, and they're not dropping their guards. They look like it, they act like it, they sound like it, but they're not. We'll save that one for another video. So one of the other reasons why people jump into crazy, wild, passionate makeup sex after arguments and often don't resolve the argument. And this is what I'm talking about, right? I'm not talking about you resolved it, it's done, it's never going to come up again, we've moved on. That's one thing. Have all the good, passionate makeup sex you can. But oftentimes, people use the sexual relationship as kind of the cover, the smooch, right? Let's just get through this. Let's not be in all of this emotional uncertainty. Let's not go through all of this with each other. Let's just love each other. That's cool, but you ain't resolved anything. And so what happens is this is a way that people have learned to that it's the only way they can feel safe and loved. I hope this is making sense. Some people have learned in their lives that the only way they can feel loved is when they're having sex. This is true for both sexes, right? They've learned along the way that if I have sex, then he loves me. Or the guy may be thinking, if she has sex with me, then she loves me, right? Some people have learned that this is the only way they can feel safe, accepted, and loved. Not because we work through hard stuff, not because we resolve our issues like two healthy human beings, but if we have sex, then we don't have to think about it. We don't have to deal with it. And I bet if you are watching this video, you're one of those people who may be getting tired of just the crazy wild makeup sex. Like, yeah, but we got all this other stuff over here that we haven't sorted out. We haven't worked through the infidelity that we danced around or that we argued about, but we never got to the root of. We haven't gotten to the root of the pain you caused me when you said those hard things to me, right? Or when the money kept disappearing. We haven't gotten to the root of the real issues about your mama and you always running to your mama and your daddy and making me feel like I'm second. And so we don't get to the root of, we just have these explosive arguments, these explosive conflicts. And then the way we come back together is we just, let's just make love. It's a real thing, y'all. It's a real thing. And so in order to get beyond this so that this makeup sex doesn't tear your marriage down, actually, because it can build resentment, right? It can build deep resentment, and then you'll begin to move away from each other. So what do? You got to learn how to be honest with your spouse and say, listen, the makeup sex is wonderful, but I feel like we never resolve anything. We never get to the root of stuff. We never really work out the issues. And when are we going to work out the issues? When can we get to this thing that happened, that thing that happened? And because if we can resolve these painful conflicts and these painful issues, you'll actually feel safer with each other. And love will not just be, sort of this momentary flash of excitement. It will actually be something that really builds your relationship and satisfies your relationship. I hope this is making sense to you. Here's another reason why I don't recommend just staying in a posture of crazy wild makeup sex and never getting to the bottom of stuff. And that is because our argument styles are sometimes a fight to win proposition. What do you mean by that? Like the way we handle conflict is about, I'm gonna fight, I'm gonna do this until I win. And so sometimes we never give room for resolution to happen. And then somebody just sort of gives in. Which one are you? Are you the one who just says, okay, all right, okay. You say yes, but you don't really mean yes, right? You're saying yes, okay, I agree, and we're just gonna squash this, we're just gonna move on, but you don't really mean that. It just seems like the only answer to the problem there. And then you might probably also be that person who just says, okay, well, let's just make love and let's just move on. You can do that, right? That's your right, your prerogative. But what if you actually stopped this whole idea of somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose? How about if your conflicts actually brought you closer together? Wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't it be awesome? Like if you could have conflict with your spouse and you could resolve it and also get closer together and enjoy making love after the conflict because you just actually deeply love the fact that you feel safer with your spouse and your spouse feels safer with you. I really hope this is making sense, right? I have seen this pattern, right? And when the crazy, wild, beautiful, awesome makeup sex is done, we got a couple who doesn't resolve much at all. And in the end, not resolving conflicts, not getting to the root of painful things that have happened between the two of us, only leaves us exhausted and wondering, why am I here? Hey, there's so much more for you and for this marriage that you guys are in. You can have an amazing, did I say amazing? You can have an amazing marriage. And I want that for you. I really want that for you. Now you say, are you saying like stop the makeup sex? No. I'm saying let's work on the stuff that keeps getting swept under the rug so you can actually strengthen your relationship. I want you to grab my free workshop. The Happy Marriage Workshop is what I call it. It's my 6-step guide for turning your marriage around. And we get into conflict resolution. We get into communication. As I said, it is a powerful resource to help you understand each other's deepest emotional needs and how to begin meeting them. Some of y'all are like, what is that? Yeah, did you realize that you and your spouse have deep hurts and deep emotional needs? And once you begin to learn how to meet those needs, it's going to be a game changer. Hey, I really hope that this session has been helpful to you. Thank you for giving me a few minutes to spend some time with you. Go to the link in the notes. Make sure that you get the link to the Happy Marriage Workshop. It's waiting for you. Literally, it is waiting for you to be a resource to you. And I'm glad that you allowed me a few minutes to just, be in your ear, be in your space. You took the time to watch this video, and I believe it's going to be a big help to you. So let's connect in the next video. Make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel. I look forward to resourcing you with helpful, thoughtful, insightful content, not conflict, content that will help you grow your marriage relationship.